then they're disqualified. Are they not performing to standards? As long as you treat them like everybody else who's not performing to standards, then you can do that. Discrimination against them is prohibited, but reasonable accommodation for an alcoholic may well be required where it's not required as to the illegal drug user. What's the accommodation likely to be? Well, it doesn't mean, again, well, let's take the insulin-dependent diabetic who has a disability and needs an accommodation and says, well, you know, I need some time off at 3:15. I've got to go check my blood sugar, and I might have to eat something so that my blood sugar doesn't drop. That would be a reasonable accommodation for a person with a disability. What happens if you have the alcoholic who says, well, it is 3:15. It's beer 30 somewhere. I need time off to go have my drink. Well, that is not a reasonable accommodation. So reasonable accommodation means allowing them perhaps a leave of absence for rehabilitation, to go to AA meetings or something like that. But it doesn't require you to allow them to indulge the addiction or to be hungover or to not show up because they say, I'm too drunk. That you can take action on, even if they are an alcoholic who might be protected by the ADA. All right, next, GINA, the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, which prohibits, among other things, prohibits us from doing genetic testing. What do we do genetic testing of? Well, I'm not going to turn back all the slides, but if you remember one of our early slides when we talked about what specimens, urine, saliva, hair, blood, those are all things that carry genetic information in them. So it's very important that when Congress passed GINA, they told us, kind of like the ADA, that drug testing is not testing for genetic information if all you're testing for is the presence of alcohol or controlled substances. If you were to take that same specimen and genetically test it, absolutely, it would be a